Hi guys, welcome back. We hope you're having a great day.
Hey guys, part 3.
Yep.
Who are we, Sheila?
Fred and Sheila McCoy from the Hatfield McCoy Museum and Adventures.
Today's another one on the museum. Guys, this is going to be the third and final segment or episode to the response to a video that was done by Mr. Jack Hatfield and I think Mr. Michael Hatfield. We're not familiar with Michael Hatfield,
right?
But we are with Jack. And somebody had sent us this video and asked us to watch it, and we did. And there's quite a few mistakes in it, and we're correcting it as we go along. And we're trying to show a clip of the video that we are correcting. So, like the old saying, right from the horse's mouth. Not calling Jack a horse, but might as well show you him and Leo called me one time when he was talking about Fred. But,
yeah. That's all right.
Oh, yeah, that's little stuff. That's back in the old Fred. We don't care about that. And I don't, the last video would even seem like a couple times, I skipped myself coming in that door there. Sounded like I was getting a little bit ill. I do get loud every now and then. And, Lord, I don't want to make it seem like I'm mad or anything, because I'm not. I get passionate about history and how people can so blatantly just speak history into fact, more or less, and even call myths history. There was a couple of times where they'll do it again, say something was history. That's not history. That's something that's made up, or your opinion, or your something like that, or storytelling.
Right.
But it's definitely not history. Guys, we're going to get started here.
Right. Okay. Here we go, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Sheila, let me let you talk a little bit every now and then. I'm so sorry.
It's good. No,
Sheila don't say nothing negative. She won't say nothing hardly negative. So when I'm correcting like this, it just about has to be me. It's not that I'm still in the mic. I'd have to, because otherwise, if I'll sit here and wait on her, she won't say nothing. So
yeah,
I know what I got to do.
That's all right. We're good. We make a great team. Here we go, guys.
Sarah Sally Hatfield.
Whoops.
Sarah Sally Hatfield. I wonder who that is. I wonder who that picture's of, and I wonder who Sarah Sally Hatfield is. Well, it's supposed to be Sarah McCoy, Randall McCoy's wife. At the front of this video, as it comes on, it shows Devil Anse, the vice of Randall, and then it shows this picture here.
Right.
Some of them it said Sarah McCoy.
Right.
On this particular picture here, it says Sarah Hatfield. It don't matter. She's not a Hatfield. And
it's not Sarah.
And it's not a Sarah. Mm-mm. That is actually Lark McCoy's wife, Mary Elizabeth.
Right.
That is the wife of Lark McCoy. Lark was the oldest son of Asa Harmon McCoy, the first one killed, and that's his wife, Mary Elizabeth. And how they got that picture mixed up with Sarah McCoy's picture, you'll see coming up.
Okay.
And how they got that name mixed up with Sarah McCoy to Sarah Hatfield, I don't know. But they're definitely not as passionate about history or being correct as Sheila and I. That is Sarah McCoy. Go ahead,
right. There is another picture of Sarah McCoy.
That's a picture of her drawn in the court.
All this bad blood going on already, right? All these murders, these things happening. You had Devil Anse, his sons, his employees, his friends, all have, bounties and indictments and all this stuff against them in the state of Kentucky. And then you have the Kentucky governor, politically employed, putting all the bounties on their heads, right? Mm-hmm. So if you were a Hatfield specifically, or affiliated with the Hatfields, you became a target. You had bounty hunters coming across state lines into the region illegally, technically at this point, trying to, extradite people over into Kentucky, which was illegal.
Okay, pause it. So Asa was killed in 65, January the 7th of 1865. putting bounties on their heads. The indictments, bounties were for murdering 3 McCoy residents, one of which was a 15-year-old boy.
Innocent.
Stripped naked and tied to trees, shot from point blank range, not across the riverbank. It doesn't matter if you kill somebody from one state to the other, if you kill somebody 10 miles down the road, but it wasn't. It was point blank right in front of them. Wants to blame the governor for bringing the West Virginia Hatfields to justice. He wants to blame Governor Buckner because Governor Buckner wants these people that's wreaked havoc on Kentucky residents to be brought back to Kentucky to face the criminal justice system. Not just West Virginia Hatfields, but also West Virginia McCoys. Remember, there's 3 McCoys on that indictment. There's Barneys, there's Witts, there's Mahons, Carpenters, Mitchells, there's several different surnames. Jack says if you were a Hatfield, you were in danger. What about Blackberry Creek Hatfields? They didn't have no bounties on them. Why didn't the West Kentucky Hatfields not have any bounties on them? Well, mainly because they didn't commit any crimes. They wasn't charged with nothing. They wasn't indicted for willful murder. Those West Virginia Hatfields become targets, Jack, because the West Virginia Hatfields, specifically Devil Ants, was fugitives from justice. They had warrants out on them illegally. He says something about technically, well, they were illegal. They were running from the law.
Yeah, he said at this point it was illegal.
Yeah. Technically, at this point, it was illegal. Well, which one is it? Because earlier he said that it was illegal for Kentucky to charge West Virginians. Now he's saying technically that it's illegal. So at this point, the Supreme Court had not ruled, so it was not illegal for them to come over there and arrest Hatfields or anybody else. At this point, the Supreme Court, they didn't rule on this until after the 9 Hatfield gang members were arrested and brought back to Kentucky. Okay. It'll come up there in a second, guys.
At this point, I'm trying to, extradite people over into Kentucky, which was illegal. So, Devil Ants, his sons, they were constantly on the move between, his logging business and, having to stay hidden. He had a lot of different places that he would frequently move around to, where it was hard to know where he was at any given time, unless you were extremely well trusted. But that had to be a stressful life. Looking over your shoulder every second, every minute of the day, is this person who's being nice to me a bounty hunter, here to, put a bullet in me, it had to be extremely stressful.
Had to be stressful. Wow. Poor old Devil Ants. Let's make a victim out of him. He had to be stressful on him running from the law for tying 3 boys up to trees and shooting them point blank.
For murder, yeah.
But it had to be stressful that he had to run from Kentucky law. Had to be stressful that he had to run from bounty hunters. Had to be stressful on him. Laughable. He's a fugitive from justice for murder. Devil Ants could have stopped all this stress. He could have stopped running at any time he wanted to and gave himself up, went to Kentucky and stood trial. If he's innocent and didn't do nothing wrong, he'd be on his way back to West Virginia. Devil Ants was paranoid. There's no doubt. Him and Cap, both of them were paranoid. But Devil Ants, after, I think it was 18, I forget what year it was. I won't guess at it because that's not history. I wouldn't be no better than what I'm condemning here. So, but Bob Floyd shot Jesse James in the back of the head. And after that happened, they said Devil Ants got extremely, if it could happen to Jesse James by somebody he knew and befriended, that it could happen to him. And Jack's correct there. He was paranoid. He watched everybody. He didn't know what a life that must be. It was stressful.
Yeah.
Not knowing if the next person put a bullet in your head for that $500 reward.
Yeah.
He says here in a minute, let's go ahead and play it.
Okay.
I'll let you hear it first. Listen to what nonsense.
He, did not want to leave his children and his future generations in this bloody situation.
Stop it. Devil Anse did not want to leave his children and future generations in this predicament with it fighting with the McCoys. No, he didn't want to leave them there, so he lined them up online. Chauncey was 18.
Yeah.
Cap was 18. Chauncey was 19, I believe.
Okay.
And lined them up online. Let them shoot these 3 McCoys. Impressionable age. He sent them to Randall McCoy's cabin. Sent his 3 sons. I think Robert was with them. At least 3 sons. And his uncle, Jim Vance, his nephew, Ellison Cotton Top Hatfield. He sent them to kill a whole entire family. Kill them all. Let God sort them out. Kill them all. Because if you kill one, you got to kill them all, because now you've got more witnesses.
Yeah, if they get meant to kill him because he was a witness, then they'd have to kill everybody else who witnessed that murder.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Sheila, years ago we were talking about something and how somebody said, another author said, well, he just needed to get Randall McCoy. He was just going to kill Randall McCoy at the cabin. Well, what about the rest of the family members in there that now become witnesses
to that murder? Yeah.
Thought that was smart.
Thanks.
So, go ahead and play the next one.
Okay. We'll see what's coming up next.
So, the way they said it in the miniseries with Kevin Costner that they did recently was, we need to cut off the head of the snake to fix the problem. And it's probably the best way I've heard it said. So you're right. The Logan Wildcats, aka Hatfield family, with Jim Vance, and other veterans, family supporters, came together and they attacked the McCoy home place.
Family veterans, other veterans, Jim Vance and other veterans. Jim Vance was not a veteran, guys. That's a myth. We've done a video on that. They have now put a Confederate stone up there where he's supposed to be buried. They didn't even know where Jim Vance was buried at when they started the Hatfield McCoy tourism back in Pike County and West Virginia. They didn't even know where he's buried at. They just picked out a spot and put a stone down there to say, well, we'll say he's here. And the next thing you know, they're putting a Confederate stone there. And he never served. He was never in the military. But that Jack refers to that there. And the other comments was miniseries. This man's getting his history lesson from Kevin Costner's miniseries. I saw it on the miniseries, he says. Sorry, Jack, the miniseries is a movie. It's not history. The snake was Devil Anse Hatfield. Randall McCoy was seeking justice for his children. Notice how he said there, he said the Wildcats and the Hatfield, and then he stopped. He said family, Hatfield family. No, he got ready to say it correctly. Hatfield gang. That's what they were known as the Hatfield gang. Through the criminal justice system, like any other law-abiding citizen, Randall McCoy was seeking justice through the criminal justice system. Once Devil Anse sent his family members, his uncle, his own sons, his nephew, his brothers, and got them involved in all this stuff, Walt Hatfield went to prison because he listened to Devil Anse. He kidnapped the 3 McCoy boys and went right along with them. And to be honest with you, Devil Anse was a troublemaker. It wasn't about Ellison Hatfield being stabbed or shot. It wasn't about Ellison Hatfield dying. It was about little man syndrome. Devil Anse Hatfield wanting to make okay, I feel you. She's kicking me. I don't mean that. It's about Devil Anse Hatfield having little man syndrome. See, I watch the tone of my voice and I can say it because I'm not mad over it, just the way I talk. But He had little man syndrome, and he wanted to show how big a guy he was. So he tied the McCoy boys up, shot, and killed them. Now, and he claimed it's because they killed his brother, Ellison. Well, he got his brother Walt to go with him to kidnap the 3 boys and bring them back to West Virginia. When Walt went to prison and died in prison a month later, he didn't even send nobody. Now, he couldn't go. There was warrants out.
Right.
But if he had $5 million, surely he could have said, here's your $20. Go over and bring my brother's body back. I want to put him up here on the hill, on the family cemetery. My brother and all this. And I love my brother, and I want to take care of him. I don't want him buried over there in a prison cemetery. I'll be in an unclaimed body where there'll be a parking lot at someday. He didn't do that. He didn't care about his brothers. Devil Anse Hatfield didn't care about nobody except Devil Anse Hatfield. He didn't care about his boys to say, hey, go burn the cabin down. I can't go with you. I'm sick. Go burn them down. Kill them all. I don't know. Jack refers to Jack calls Randall a snake. Well, to me, he's a grieving father of 6 of his children.
Well, sure.
A real snake that played sick or was cowardly, and that was Devil Anse. I'm going to stay home. Cotton Top suggested, hey, Ants, let's just wait for another day. No, you boys go on. I'll stay here. I'll be all right. Yeah, of course he was. He stayed there just like he did when he deserted the Civil War. He stayed at home and sent his sons that would do anything that their father asked them to do, and they went out and killed some more, burnt houses down. Go ahead without me, Aunt said. You guys believe this stuff if you want. Jack's selling. But it ain't history, guys. It's coming up.
Yeah, I should have left that.
Over in Kentucky, on New Year's Day, 1888, early or late night, early morning, what have you. And they set the cabin on fire, trying to get them all to come out. And, they were shooting as they came out. Of course, who they wanted was Randall McCoy. But Randall, unfortunately, got away.
Can you believe that, guys? All they wanted was Randall McCoy. That's all they wanted. But they set fire to the house, and as they were coming out, they were shooting them. But all they wanted was Randall McCoy. Now, which is it? Did they want to kill everybody, the whole family? Or did they just want Randall McCoy? Because, see, he says here, Randall McCoy left. How did he leave? They're shooting at everybody coming out. They're shooting at everybody coming out. How did Randall McCoy get away? There's only a front door and a back door, and they're covered, surrounded the house, and the house is burning. Randall McCoy stayed in there until the last one to get his grandchildren out. But he says they only want Randall McCoy. Go ahead, babe.
At time, and I say unfortunately because had they probably got him, the rest of the people that day would have never perished. But he did get away with a son and daughter.
Got away with a son and a daughter. No, he got away with 2 grandchildren. He didn't even get away. He got them away. He got them out of the house when he come out the last one with double barrel shotgun, and he shot Chauncey and Cap in the shoulder. Calvin had done shot Cotton Top with a 30 rifle. He'd done shot Cotton Top with a lever action rifle, a Winchester.
Okay.
Randall had a shotgun. He'd done shot Tom Chambers' hand off on the roof, and now he shot both barrels as he come out the door when they're riding off, and he hits 2 more of them. Now they've got heavy coats on. It's wintertime, and he's shooting rabbit shot. He's shooting squirrel shot.
Well, Cotton Top said he gave as good as he got.
Thank you, babe. Cotton Top, in his statement, said that the old man and Calvin gave as good as they were getting.
Yep.
Exactly. And he was the last one out when he brought his grandchildren. He didn't want to send nobody out the door because he knew they were shooting them. Jack says had they got Randall McCoy, they'd probably let the rest go, wouldn't he? The rest is now, like Sheila says, witnesses. The rest is just going to be witnesses. You had to kill them all. Beating Sarah, was part of trying to end the feud. What part of ending the feud was that, Jack? Jack says that them beating Sarah and shooting another one of his children, Jack says burning the cabin and killing Alifair. Well, Jack forgot to mention they also killed Calvin, his son.
I think that's coming up here.
You'll hear it.
Yeah.
It's coming up. Go ahead and let it play then. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he left out Calvin, but he mentioned Alifair, yeah.
But unfortunately, his daughter Alifair was killed that day, and his wife was brutally attacked. So, at this point, he's lost 4 or 5 children to the feud at this point during this event here, or by the time this event happened. And, his wife, Sarah, she was butted in the head with the gun by Jim Vance, and unfortunately Sarah became incapacitated at that point and spent the rest of her life in a nursing home, I think it was at the time.
Sarah spent the rest of her life in a nursing home at that time. Well, that's not true. Sarah went home with Randall and moved to Pikeville, and Roseanna took care of Sarah. Sarah even testified in court the following year against the people that was had taken her boys and about the cabin. He mentions about Jim Vance taking a rifle butt. Now, he saw that. It was either Jim Vance or Johnsey, according to Cotton Top statement, that bashed Sarah in the head with their rifle, with the butt of their rifle. But at least Jack did acknowledge that Jim Vance was there. There are some people, authors, that say, oh, Jim Vance was never there. He was never indicted, so he couldn't have been there. Well, that happened on January the 1st, and Jim Vance was killed for resisting arrest in a shootout on January the 8th, 7 days later. The grand jury didn't meet till the 13th, I think it was. I could be wrong there. Don't quote me. So why would they indict Jim Vance? He's dead. You don't indict dead men. So the people that say, oh, Jim Vance wasn't there, well, he was there. Yeah. He just wasn't indicted. Beating Sarah was part of trying to end the feud. He said all he was trying to do is end the feud. So I guess beating a man's wife and killing his daughter and another son and burning their house down, let's try to end this feud if we can. This was not about ending the feud. This was about murdering the whole entire family. This was a hit. Sarah testified in court. She lived at home. She was not in a nursing home. Roseanna cared for her. Had tried to end the feud, not about feud. It was about justice. There's been people over the years that said Devil Anse tried to end the feud. He tried to shake hands and call it quits. He wanted to be friends with Randall, shake hands and call it quits after you've killed a man's children. Would you all do it? Would you all shake hands and call it quits? Okay, so what? You killed 3 of my boys. Another one died at the grave. Burnt my house down, beat my wife, killed 2 more kids. Daggone it. Let's let bygones be bygones. You all gonna do that? Go ahead, bud.
You can forgive somebody, but you don't have to be friends with them.
He wanted justice. It wasn't about being friends. It wasn't about forgiving. It was about...
but she, the poor woman had a hard life. But, they saw this as necessary to kind of end the feud. This was his attempt to ending the feud because for years they tried, to cool things down, tried to stop things, and it didn't work. So this is what he saw as, a necessary evil, I guess, to try to end the blood feud.
Oh, wow. End the blood feud by having more blood. Wow, I never looked at it like that. Poor old Devil Anse was just trying to end the feud. Nobody got that.